地震があったのは3時前後でしょう、そうなると。波が荒れてきてます。もしかしたら津波の第2波かもしれません。見えますでしょうか。ついに堤防を乗り越えて津波の第2波が来ました。すごい勢いです。車が押し流されてます。車が押し流されてます。見えますでしょうか。海の水がどんどんこちらに溢れてきてます。まずい、これも逃げる。
Hi, my name is Maya. So, you don't know what a nuclear power plant is? Well, let me explain. It is a power plant in which nuclear energy is converted into heat for use in producing steam for turbines, which in turn drive generators that produce electric power. It is also known as an atomic power plant. Nuclear power stations use a fuel called uranium, a relatively common material. Energy is released from uranium when an atom is split by a neutron. The uranium atom is split into two, and as this happens, energy is released in the form of radiation and heat. This nuclear reaction is called the fission process. Still don't get it? So, to explain this with a visual, I downloaded a video explaining how a nuclear power plant works. So let's watch it then.
Nuclear energy facilities generate carbon-free electricity in 30 countries around the world. Nuclear energy production is similar to the ways fossil-fueled power plants generate electricity. A nuclear energy facility provides clean, safe electricity 24 hours a day. Let's go inside the plant to find out how. In most generating plants, whether coal, nuclear, or natural gas, some form of energy is used to heat water into steam. This steam turns a turbine that is coupled to an electromagnet called a generator. The generator produces electricity. While the model is the same, there is a key difference between nuclear energy facilities and other electricity generating plants. Power plants that run on fossil fuels burn coal, oil, or natural gas to generate the heat that creates steam. In a nuclear energy facility, a chain reaction of splitting atoms releases heat. This reaction takes place in the reactor. All reactors are designed, built, and operated with safety as a top priority. Nuclear energy facilities are among the safest facilities in the world because they feature multiple redundant layers of safety systems and procedures, beginning in the core of the reactor. In a nuclear reactor, metal rods with enriched uranium pellets inside are placed into bundles, creating a fuel assembly. The bundles are submerged in water inside a pressurized vessel. The two most common types of nuclear reactors are boiling water reactors and pressurized water reactors. In a boiling water reactor, the heat from split atoms causes the water to boil, producing steam that drives a turbine. Afterwards, the steam is converted back to liquid water and returned to the reactor core. Pressurized water reactors, or PWRs, were developed after boiling water reactors and work in a slightly different manner. In a PWR, the water in the reactor tank is under pressure to keep it from boiling, even though it reaches very high temperatures. In the steam generator of a PWR, water passes through thousands of small pipes. The heat in the pipes turns the water to steam, which then drives the turbine. The turbine powers the generator, which in turn produces electricity. Here is where the process differs from a boiling water reactor. The reactor water is now pumped back into the reactor tank and heated again. The steam from the turbine is cooled in a condenser, and the resulting water is sent back into the steam generator and heated again. To prevent overheating, control rods made of a material that absorbs small atomic particles are inserted into the nuclear fuel bundle. When an operator wants to produce more heat, the control rods are raised out of the bundle. To create less heat, they are lowered into the bundle. The rods can also be lowered completely to shut the reactor down in the case of an accident or to refuel the facility. With this level of control, the operator of a nuclear energy facility is able to ensure that it continues to generate clean, safe, and secure energy. Additional safety systems are in place that shut the reactor down quickly and stop the fission process, cool the reactor down and carry heat away from it, and create barriers to contain any radioactivity and prevent it from escaping into the environment. Nuclear energy facilities are the most efficient source of electricity in the world. By developing a nuclear energy program, the UAE is leading the way for other nations that may look to generate clean, safe electricity in the future. Nuclear energy for the UAE. Part of a bright future for our people.
Hi again! So now you know what a nuclear power plant is. Do you know its advantages and disadvantages? I thought so. Okay, let's start with the disadvantages. There have been serious accidents with a small number of nuclear power stations. The accident at Chernobyl, Ukraine, in 1986 led to 30 people being killed and over 100,000 people being evacuated. In the preceding years, another 200,000 people were resettled away from the radioactive area. Radiation was even detected over 1,000 miles away in the UK as a result of the Chernobyl incident. It has been suggested that over time, 2,500 people died as a result of the accident. There are serious questions to be answered regarding the storage of radioactive waste produced through the use of nuclear power. Some of the waste remains radioactive, which is dangerous, for thousands of years and is currently stored in places such as deep caves and mines. Nuclear-powered ships and submarines pose a danger to marine life and the environment. Old vessels can leak radiation if they are not maintained properly or if they are dismantled carelessly at the end of their working lives. Wow, that was long. Anyway, let's move on to the advantages. Nuclear power stations do not burn fossil fuels to produce electricity, and consequently they do not produce damaging polluting gases. Many supporters of nuclear power production say that this type of power is environmentally friendly and clean. In a world that faces global warming, they suggest that increasing the use of nuclear power is the only way of protecting the environment and preventing catastrophic climate change. Countries such as France produce approximately 90% of their electricity from nuclear power and lead the world in nuclear power generating technology, proving that nuclear power is an economic alternative to fossil fuel power stations. So, a nuclear power plant is neither good nor bad. Now you know. How does a parent explain the nuclear crisis in Japan? Frustrated by media reports about the stricken Fukushima power plant, one Japanese artist has turned to cartoons to describe the events through the character of a sick child named Nuclear Boy. This is a simple animation explaining the nuclear events in Japan.
お腹が痛くなった原発くん。この間の大きな地震で福島県の原発くんのお腹が痛くなりました。お腹痛いよ。うんちが出ちゃいそう。原発くんのうんちはとっても臭くて、もし漏れちゃったらみんなが困ってしまいます。一生懸命我慢していた原発くん。でも大きな音が原発くんから聞こえてきてみんなびっくり。原発くんのうんちが漏れちゃったのかもしれない。慌てて原発くんの周りの匂いの量を測ってみたら、そんなに臭くなかったから、うんちじゃなくておならだって分かったんだ。でも原発くんはまだお腹が痛い。今はそれを何とかしようと、お医者さんが原発くんのところに行ってお薬をあげています。原発くんのお薬は海水や酵素。人間と違って冷やしてあげるのが大事なんだ。お薬が足りなくなって危ない時もあったけど、とにかくうんちが出ないようにお医者さんはずーっと頑張ってくれています。それでも何回かおならは出ちゃったから、匂いはちょっと広がっちゃった。でもこの匂いはすぐ消えるし、遠くにいる人たちは全然気づかないぐらい。ずーっと匂いが残るんじゃないかって心配かもしれないけど、おならの匂いは1週間くらいで消えるから大丈夫。ちなみに昔、アメリカの3マイル島ってとこでも大きなおならが出ちゃったことがあったけど、その時もうんちは出てないんだ。あと時々名前が出てくるチェルノブイリちゃん。あれは本当に大事故だった。それこそ教室でうんち漏らしちゃった。しかも下痢。しかもそのまま走り回っちゃったぐらいのね。でも日本ではチェルノブイリちゃんほどの大事件は起こらないと思うんだ。それに日本の原発くんにはおむつも当ててあるから、うんちが出ちゃうことになってもそれが遠くまで飛び散るみたいなことは起こらないんじゃないかな。うんちがビューンって飛んできたら困るよって思うかもしれないけど、本当にヤバいうんちはずっしり重いから遠くまで飛んでいくことはまずないんだ。僕が本当に偉いと思うのは、今原発くんにお薬をあげているお医者さんたち。うんちが出そうな原発くんの近くで丸1日近くにいると命が危なくなっちゃうくらい。だから交代でお薬をあげているんだ。交代でやると本当は効率が悪いけど、お医者さんの健康のためにはしょうがないよね。おむつがあるならちょっとくらいうんち漏れちゃってもいいんじゃないって思うかい？でも実はうんちが漏れたおむつを片付けたことはないんだ。片付けるにはものすごい匂いの危険とたくさんお金がかかっちゃうからね。とにかく今は原発くんを冷やしてあげることが一番大事。うんちを出さずに済まそうとみんな努力しているんだ。もし君がニュースで注水が再開とか聞こえたら、ああ、お薬を混ぜて冷やしているんだなって思う。そしてそれをやってくれている原発のお医者さんに感謝しよう。最悪の事態も説明しておきます。それはうんちが出て、しかもおむつからも漏れちゃうってこと。それでもチェルノブイリちゃんみたいにはならないし、遠くまでうんちが飛ぶことはないけど、この辺の人が住めなくなったり、お魚や野菜への影響も出るかもしれない。そうなったらこれから頑張っていかなければならない福島の人たちが本当に大変なことになります。お医者さんたちが必死で頑張っているのはそれもあるのだと思います。多分それはこの2日ぐらいが勝負です。そこを乗り切って福島の人たちの平和な暮らしが戻ってくることを祈ります。それが今までここからたくさんの電気をもらった僕の、そしてみんなのできることだと思うのです。大丈夫。時間とともに原発くんのお腹が痛いのはきっと治るよ。
Well, that was cute. Till next time.
Good morning, everyone. This is Arvi reporting from Channel 21. Breaking news. Due to the catastrophic Japan earthquake, a nuclear reactor from Fukushima's power plant has overheated. Thus, the fuel rods were enough to kill several citizens. According to the Japanese Nuclear and Industrial Safety Disaster, the disaster was at level 5, which is classified as a cause to several radiation deaths among the area due to radiation leak. Moreover, due to the earthquake damage, it is possible for the 3 damaged reactors to cause partial meltdowns. Several Japanese citizens have immigrated in fear of a future meltdown. To give us further details on the nuclear plant tragedy, here is Erica reporting live from Japan.
And this is Erica Antonito reporting live from Fukushima, Japan. And here with me is Dr. Boboy Demo.
Tokyo!
Miss Dr. Demo, can I ask you questions about the Fukushima power plant?
Hi!
So the first question would be, why do you think that the nuclear power plant failed?
정보이라 지치리 공고이라 아부지기 뭐지자 지치리 공고이나 아부지기
So what do you think are the consequences of the nuclear power plant leak? Thank you for your time, Dr. Baboy Demo. So we have here Mr. Taiko Taimo, a resident from Japan, who will share to us his experiences during the event.
Tato de Argentina, Tato de O, Hari Tomo, Minaso, Tani, Jubile, Onitomo, Atatomi, Unitome, Montes, Pai.
Thank you for your time, Mr. Taiko Taimo. Back to you, Arvi.
Here in our studio, we have a very special guest, Mr. Volkswagen Zimmerman, a scientist from the German Institute of Nuclear Power Plant Prevention and Protection Association. Welcome, sir. Guten Morgen. For our first question, how has the accident affected the countries in Europe and America?
Well, actually, the radiation is not so bad. The radiation is below, 1 billion times below life-threatening levels, you know. So, actually, the countries in America are not that affected.
What do you think Japan should have done in the current crisis?
Well, actually, they have this sort of pride thing. So, they want themselves to develop alone, individually. So, I think that's very arrogant of them. They should ask help from the UN. So, that's it.
Thank you. What preventions do you suggest to prevent it from happening again?
If I may speak in German, because I'm not comfortable.
Oh, sure, be our guest.
Weil die Radiation ist nicht ganz so... Weil, ich weiß nicht, was ich sagen soll. Ne? Weil es ist ganz schwer hier mit der Kamera und alles, mit der Musik. Ach, ich weiß überhaupt nicht. Aber ja, ist einfach so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, and this has been Channel 21 News. Good night, everyone.